guys. We're on our way home. Just picked up this wonderful piece of junk. We're just using it for parts though. Figured give it a little driving clip of us trying to bring this dually home. Do a little bit, walk around when we get back shop. Do a little walk around of this bitch. I mean, for what we paid, it's gonna do exactly what we need it to do. Like honestly, like doors are like clean. I mean, front and rear doors, they close good. You know, it's got some weight reduction right in this area, but it made an hour drive back. I really only want it for the bed, the rear axle, and the other dually stuff, so I can convert the single cab over. The engine and trans are going to be going into a single cab short box, so they'll be a sweet little project. Yeah, like I said, the doors are good. The dually bed for being a Midwest truck is great. You know, don't mind the tailgate. That's trying to see itself off itself. And come over and pop the hood. We'll show you the big old 7.4 here. Yeah, 7.4 4L80E. It's gonna be a perfect candidate for a single cab short box.
Holy shit, dude! Look at this.
All right, we're coming in the shop for this evening. We're just gonna go over the rundown on this little truck here. Kind of my ideas. I don't see too much of it on YouTube. We're gonna be doing a single cab dually out of this 3500. So it's already a 3/4 ton truck, but now I would like it to be a dually just for my own, I don't know, why not? So I have a parts truck, as you'll see in the clip before this. The only thing I'm really using off that truck is the rear end, the dually bed, some front suspension parts, and some miscellaneous body panels off that truck, like doors, maybe mirrors. Right now, I've been in the process of stripping this down to kind of get it prepped for rust removal, paint, body work. As you can see, I got fuel tank out, drive shaft off, bed, no exhaust, bumper, hitch, the spare tire holder, shocks, so they're just kind of hanging there. All that's off right now. Come up to the front. I don't have videos of me doing any of this other stuff, but I got the old motor removed as well as the transmission. The motor is sold. So my buddy hit me up on Snapchat, gave me a killer deal on this rebuilt 350. It's got a Holley intake, 3/4 race cam. Should be perfect for this truck. It's not too big, not too heavy. It's going to be back behind the original Turbo 400 trans. So then, with that being said, the biggest thing we're working on right now is converting this over to the dual wheels and cleaning the frame. I'm going to be kind of just using needle scaler, angle grinder, wire wheels to knock off all this kind of, flake. So part of the conversion with the dually is obviously changing the rear axle. So I'm also lowering the truck. So instead of just removing the axle with the U-bolts and swapping to the dual rear wheel setup, I'm actually going to need to remove the leaf springs entirely, so that way I can put the axle flip kit on, which will put the rear axle on top of the rear leaf springs. So that way it'll give me about on these it's saying 8-inch drop, but then I'm going to put a 1-inch lift shackle, so that way it only ends up being 7. I want this truck to be more functional, so we got to start by getting these leaf springs out. That's going to be a pain in the ass, being that it's a Midwest truck. Off camera, I started to torch the front up here. There's no movement, so we're gonna have to cut that off. I know the rears are already gonna be movable since I did put a 2-inch drop shackle on this like late last summer on both sides, so that's not gonna be an issue. So let's get to cutting. All right, so I got the leaf springs unbolted in the back, and I tried to use a 4.5-inch cutoff disc. Did not work. Did not get in the grooves like I wanted it to. So I went up and got a 6-inch. Got in there perfectly fine. I just put a jack stand underneath the leaf spring, so if it fell or anything, wouldn't worry about cutting my hand. So now we get to unbolt the leaf springs from the axle and move this heavy rear end out of the way. So once we get that moved, we can get the dually rear end in here, flip the leaf springs underneath the axle, and start getting this thing dropped. All right, guys, we got the dually rear end in. Got the leaf springs and everything kind of all painted up now from the last clip. So basically what we got to do is put the perches underneath the rear axle right here, get it all lifted up, all bolted together, and then we'll have an 8-inch rear drop on the truck. I'm gonna try to set up a time lapse here, so get right to it. All right, so right there, I was getting the leaf springs back onto where they're bolted to the frame. I got the flip kit piece on right here. Make sure when you're doing this, you put the hole on the bottom of the piece going forward. But that's how you see, that's how you get your lowering. So right now, all I have to do right now then is put the U-bolts and the bottom plate on, and the rear flip's done. The rear lowering kit's done, besides you know, shocks and everything else, but the lowering aspect will be done. All right, there's some wheels on there. Got the jack stands out, and let's see how low this thing will go. All right, well, I do have the C-notch sitting here. We'll do that in another video because I got to get those painted. Plus, I'm also doing rear helper bags that are going to go right here. But I think that's going to conclude it for this one. Have any questions on doing the flip kit or anything, just, you know, leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more single cab dually conversion.